Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today is the 26th of February 2023, albeit it'll be a few days after that you're watching this. And it was 2 years ago on this exact day that I uploaded my first video to YouTube. It was a feature on my then newly acquired Ford Focus RS Mark I. I made the video because my boys suggested that we share our car antics and our collection with you all here on YouTube. I had absolutely no idea how it was going to go. You see, I work full time, I have a family, I have this car collection to maintain. I'm not able to upload a video every week. But having said that, I think this is my 45th video here on the channel. So that's a bit short of one every 2 weeks, but I am going to go for it this year. So in this video, we're going to take a bit of a look back over the last 12 months. A bit of a channel review, I suppose. Also, I'm going to run you through the entire car collection as it stands today, the work that I've done on the cars, and importantly, how much they've cost me this year to maintain. And then I'm going to share with you my plans for the channel over the next 12 months. Now, I made one of these videos exactly a year ago today, and only 542 of you watched it. I think it was my least viewed video over the past 12 months. So why make another? Well, it's as much for me as it is for you. To see where we were at this 2-year milestone, to see how far we've come. So I really hope that you stay tuned to this video. And if you like it, click like. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And do leave me a comment. I try and answer all of the comments that I have on the channel. So do let me know your thoughts on this video, your thoughts on the channel, but more importantly, what you want to see from Cornish Car Collectors in the future. Thank you so much, everyone, for the support. Let's get on with the review. I've been absolutely overwhelmed by all of the interest, the views, the subscribers, the likes, and all of the kind comments about my little car collection. I truly am grateful for all of the support. And as for the channel, well, it's grown considerably. Thanks for that. I think this time last year I had, 816 subscribers? And today, well, we have grown to 7,295, which is quite incredible. My videos have been viewed over 323,000 times over the past year. That's 38,200 viewed hours, which all totaled is more than 4 years. And for the first time ever, I've been paid some ad revenue from YouTube. $1,692. Now, it's not a fortune, but it is nice to have, and my commitment is whatever the channel makes, well, I'll put it all straight back into the cars, into maintaining the cars and growing the collection. So please do keep watching, everyone. As for those of you who are watching, well, 97.3% of you are male. Once again, I've not really improved my content for my female audience over this past year. I'm sorry again, ladies. And whilst 2/3 of my audience are from home here in the UK, I am very proud of the audience that the channel is drawing from overseas, from America, Ireland, Australia, South Africa, and from right across Europe. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And what have you been watching? Well, by some considerable margin, the most viewed video on my channel this year has been me buying, collecting the Sierra Sapphire Cosworth from Scotland and driving it all the way home to here in Cornwall. An amazing 127,000 of you have viewed that video. Now, for my little Cornish car channel, well, that's the equivalent of going viral. I thought, I've made it. Shmee 150, Matt Armstrong, JM on car, watch out, because here I come. Anyway, turns out not quite yet, but let's hope that Cornish Car Collectors doesn't become a one-hit wonder. 39,000 of you have also watched my feature on the Mondeo 2.5 Turbo, whilst the FN2 Civic Type R and the Peugeot 206 GTI 180 videos continue to do well. And now to the other end of the spectrum. Which of my videos have really struggled to draw an audience this year? And as I've already said, my one-year review performed pretty poorly this year, and here I am making another one. What a wally! The recent feature on my BMW X5 V8 with only 804 views and our own car show video has also continued to underperform this year. It's all learning though, which is all good. Right, let's take a brief look around my car collection. I'll bring you up to date on all of the cars and what's been happening, and I'll tell you how much I've spent on each of them this year. And we'll start with these two cars that will be definitely coming out this year. And firstly, to my Mark IV Ford Escort XR3i Cabriolet, which I've owned now for what, over 15 years? The car has not done any miles this past 12 months, but in 2023, as it is the 40th anniversary year of the Escort Cabriolet, well, that means that this one has to go to some shows this year. Now, I do regularly start all these cars up and run them up to temperature. And well, this car, because it had a full engine rebuild, a few years ago, all this will need is a service, some new tyres, and the front spotlights sorted out because, well, they're not working at the moment and you cannot drive a Mark IV XR3i with no spotlights. For more on this car, do check out the video I made about it around a year ago. You'll find it on the channel. Now, this year is also the year of the Sierra here at Cornish Car Collectors. If you've been following my other videos, then you'll know that I recently bought and am restoring a Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. Now, I'm really keen to show the XR 4x4 and the Sierra Cosworth together a bit this year, and to feature some of the differences about the two cars here on the channel. And no, I don't mean the fact that the Sapphire has a boot and this has a hatchback. What I mean is that this is a post-facelift car and the Cosworth is a pre-facelift car, so there are lots of subtle differences. So I'll bring that to the channel in a future video. Also, I just love driving this car, which has only done around 58,000 miles. So this one will be coming out this year. Probably all that's needed is a service for this car and a new set of tyres. I don't think I've ever put tyres on this car, so we'll definitely do that. I absolutely love this car. This is one of my favourites. And well, over the past 12 months, I've not spent anything on either of these two, so they deserve it. Right, let's move on to the Ford Granada. I don't know if you can see it in shot. We've got Escort, we've got Sierra, and we've got Granada. It's like a 90s Ford dealership. Right, let's move over to that one. A car that I bought from a subscriber, which I recently featured on the channel. Now, I'm not sure how long I'm going to own this car for. I've not advertised it anywhere, but since the video went out a month or so ago, well, I've received quite a bit of interest and one contact from a very interested buyer in Ireland. And I think that possibly this car might go out to Ireland and be, I hope, enjoyed by a new owner. But that's not to say that I don't love it. I love seeing it here in the barn. I adore the interior. And well, I'm really happy to have the car for the foreseeable future. We'll see how it goes. I just don't see myself driving it much. And that seems a shame, really, when there are other people out there, someone else out there, who could really be enjoying it. Having said that, I did take it to a recent car meet and the people, well, they absolutely loved it. And why wouldn't they? On to a few of the Rovers then. Hashtag Roverdosed. Oh, and I think you can see the corner of a Ford Puma, which is temporarily staying here for a while. Maybe we'll get that on the channel at some point. So here is my super rare Rover 200 VI. And well, behind it, where the MG ZR 160 is, that's where the other of my Rover 200 VIs used to be. I say used to be because, well, I sold it. I sold it to a local chap who intends to put it back on the road, which is brilliant. As for this Rover 200 VI, well, here's where you find out that I'm actually a pretty rubbish YouTuber. You see, I've done quite a bit of work to this car and I've not featured any of it on the channel. So let me give you an update. What I've done, well, I've swapped the wheels for a better set that I had. I've changed a couple of the tyres and I did a bit of work on the interior. I restored the door cards, I retrimmed those panels myself, and I fitted a new gear stick gaiter. And it's really transformed the interior of this car. I also MOT'd this car and, well, I kind of half-heartedly listed it for sale. And then when people contacted me about it, I suppose I put them off. I was that guy. I'm not entirely sure that I want to sell this. This car this year's cost me £464.59. Not bad at all. And I think you'll all agree it's looking absolutely brilliant. Keeping with the R3 Rovers then, well, behind me, I don't know if you can see it on shot, I'll put some pictures up now, is my Rover 25 GTI, which hasn't moved much at all this year. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to get to this one this year. I just like knowing I've got one. And as for the MG ZR 160, well, it's looking great. I've spent £370.99 recently on this car. It flew through the MOT, and more importantly, as I've never really been able to drive this car because, well, I can't lock it amongst other electrical gremlins, I had the Pectron relays sorted. Now, it's a bit of a pain to remove, so I asked the chaps at LSC in Plymouth to do it. The board was sent away to be repaired and, well, it's like a completely different car now. Previously, well, as well as the central locking not working, the reverse parking sensors didn't work, the driver's electric window didn't work, the electric mirrors didn't work, amongst other things. And the Pectron relay sorting that has sorted all of them out. Also, the headlining was sagging a bit, so I've put in a temporary solution for now. This ZR160, particularly in this X-Power grey, well, I think it looks incredible. Again, I'm minded to sell this car because prices are pretty good for 160s, or they seem to be on the up. I looked earlier and there are two on eBay for £6,000, which is absolutely crazy. Now, I'm not saying that's what these are worth, but they're definitely on the up. They're a really rare sight on the roads today. I'm pleased to have this one. And will I sell it? Will I not? I'll keep you posted as we go through the year. As for my MG ZS 180, well, I've sold it. And in doing so, I broke up my collection of each of the MG Z cars in their top performance form. And I may regret it, but I needed to raise some money to help with the Cosworth build, and there was a lovely family of real enthusiasts that came to buy the car. I know it's gone to a good home where it will be enjoyed and improved. Now on to a couple of cars that, well, aren't here today. My Ford Focus RS Mark 1. Well, that had a cam belt, a full service, work to the seals, MOT and the wheels refurbished this year. A total of £1,076.33 spent on that one this year. And well, it's money well spent because the car is great. And the Focus RS Mark III, which joined the collection this year, has had an MOT and a service. Otherwise, it's not needed anything. What a car! Right, over to a different part of the barn, and there's more colour over here. We've got my lovely Colorado Red Focus ST, which has featured quite a bit on the channel this year, and my trophy yellow MGF Trophy 160, which in fact here on the channel I think has only featured once when we did my car show back in 2021. This car's looking a bit dirty. I might have to give it a bit of a clean, but it's a really beautiful thing. And also, randomly, we've got a BMW E39 Touring, a 5 Series Touring there. Not sure if I'll feature that on the channel. In fact, if you want to see it, let me know. It's a lovely car, but yeah, here at the moment, nice to see it, pretty thing. Okay, let's look first of all then at the Focus ST, which is currently out of MOT and has only cost me £116.52 this year after costing me 10 times that last year. Just some OEM parts for the ST, including the hard-to-find gear knob, which I fitted in a video that you may have seen here on the channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the ST this year, but then having said that, seeing it here in the barn, it looks so nice, so lovely, and it's so great to drive that, well, maybe I will put an MOT on it at some point and take it out for a drive. Now, turning to the MGF Trophy 160, the ultimate high-performance version of the MGF. Well, this is a sub 50,000 mile car, which I've owned now for 6 years. The problem is, this car only has 2 seats, and well, we're a family of 3, so I've not used it for a couple of years. Let's see if it comes out this year, who knows? It's a damn pretty car. Here's my Rover 800 Vitesse, which is actually coming out of hibernation tomorrow, as I've booked it in for an MOT next week, and it's having the rear spoiler painted again, after I marked it when I squeezed it into a garage last year. I cannot wait to drive this car again this year, which of course was accident damage once in its life. Do check out the video on the channel about this car and you'll see the actual footage of it being hit. This car and I are off to the Pride of Longbridge gathering next month, which will be the first time I've taken it to the Pride of Longbridge. But it has been there before. In fact, I took a photograph of the car a few years ago. Crazy now to think that I own it. So if you are going to the Pride of Longbridge this year, look out for the car, maybe take a photograph of it, share it on social media, and come and say hello if you see me there. It'd be great to have a chat to you. Right, on to my sport car, which, well, I absolutely love. It's such an honest, fab little hot hatch. And, well, I may not have driven it much last year, and I doubt very much I'll drive it this year. But it's such a pretty thing. And ask yourself a question. When was the last time you saw one of these on the road? Only 33,000 miles on this car. It's absolutely smashing. And as for the Rover 75 over there, well, it's looking impressively dirty. It continues to be my daily driver and the support vehicle. It carries everything around to support this collection. And it does the job brilliantly. I tell you, you'd have to spend a lot of money to buy a car which drives as well as the Rover 75. They're brilliant cars. That car has cost me this year £718.30. It's needed the brake servicing, the handbrake doing. It's had a service, its 19th service in its life. It's got incredible history, that car, and a replacement windscreen. It's also going to need some tyres fairly soon. From the Rover 75 to this, my MG ZT260, my MG V8. And for the first time, well, since I've owned it, this car hasn't cost me anything in the past 12 months. And that's because it cost me loads just before. In fact, if you watch back my first year update video, you'll see how much this one cost me. But because of the way that the timing has fallen, well, since February 2022, I've not spent a penny on this car. This one, well, it's out of MOT at the moment, and I'm not sure I'm going to use it in 2023. I had loads of fun in this car last year, created some real memories in it, including one of my personal highlights, which is when I drove this big V8 all the way around Cornwall, sticking to the coast roads and stopping in 20 Cornish locations. It was brilliant. And I tried to feature the whole road trip here on the channel. So if you haven't seen it, please do check out my Kerno 300 videos. On to the final two vehicles. Well, the camper van this year, well, it needed an MOT and some new mushroom vents fitted to the roof. That cost me £149.58 only this year. Because we started this brief look around the collection with a red Escort XR3i, let's finish with one. My Mark V Escort XR3i Cabriolet, which has done about 500 miles this year, attending some shows and being used on nice days. As such, it won't be coming out this year, but it's a lovely car, a lovely low mileage car that's currently in one of my other garages. Maintenance costs then for my cars this year has come in at a very sensible, and remember, this is just maintenance. It doesn't include the purchase price of the Focus RS Mark III or the Sierra Cosworth. It doesn't include all of the insurance. It doesn't include the rent for the barn. It doesn't include any of the other costs to run the channel, just maintenance alone. As I say, a very sensible £3,310.60. Well, that's 50% less than the previous year. Remember though, it is only maintenance. There is, of course, one more car that I haven't really mentioned when running through all of the costs. Well, it's a big one. My Sierra Sapphire RS Cosworth, which I hope lots of you are following in the videos on the restoration of that car, well, this one is costing me a lot and is already well in excess of both this year's and last year's restoration and maintenance spend. And to find out how much I spend on that car, we're going to have to keep following those Sierra Cosworth videos. I promise I will tell you at the end, once the restoration is done, how much it's cost me. And I think it's going to be a big number. So then, this year, the 1997 Rover 200 VI, my MG ZS 180 and my Jaguar S-Type R have all left the collection. And the Focus RS Mark III, the Sierra Cosworth and this Granada have joined. The number of cars that I own should be going down and not, well, staying the same, or dare I say it, going up. So, what can you expect from Cornish Car Collectors this year? Well, I'll finish up that Sierra Cosworth build and I promise you that I'm going to feature all of it here on the channel, so please do stay tuned for that. As I've already said, I'm going to be taking that Rover 800 Vitesse to the Pride of Longbridge and taking you along with me. It's 40 years of the Escort Cabriolet, so definitely going to do some features with that car this year. And I'll be featuring some of the cars that I own that have yet to make it to the channel, like this Sierra XR 4x4. Looking forward to doing this one. I'll also be continuing to maintain and restore my own cars. I'll try and feature as much of that as I can here on the channel, as well as, I'm sure, some new cars that are coming in and maybe some cars that are leaving the collection. Albeit I'm going to find that quite difficult, I think, to let them go. I really do enjoy featuring my car collection here on YouTube. I feel very privileged to have them, and it's great to be able to share them with you all here on the channel. And well, I just want to thank you all so much for watching. But there's a question that I've got to answer myself this year. It's a bit of a conflict, actually. Am I a YouTuber or am I a car collector? You see, a YouTuber would buy a car, do some work on it, feature it a little bit on their channel, and then look to sell the car on. But that's not what I've been. I'm I'm a car collector really, so the Sierra Cosworth is a good example. You know, I've bought that car, I've restored that car, and I intend to keep it for a long time, just like I have this Sierra or that XR3i. And well, that means that you're probably not going to see the sort of turnover of cars here on the channel, but my promise and my commitment is to keep featuring all the things that I get up to on the channel. So please do keep watching. Do let me know in the comments below if there's something that you want to see on the channel, something that I haven't featured yet, something that you'll see more of or less of. The feedback is really, really useful. Let me know, and I will try and do that in the year ahead. I want to say a big thanks to everyone who's helped me this year with the car collection. There's lots of people, too many to mention on this video, but lots and lots of help to keep this fleet of cars going. And I want to thank you again for tuning in and watching. I really do appreciate it. Next video after this one, probably an update on the Sierra Cosworth, and we'll start to get some of these cars out, as I say, as the warmer months progress and approach. Thank you all so much for watching this video, if you've stayed with it. I'll do these every year. And I do them as much for myself, as I said earlier, as I do for you. But for those that have stuck with it and watched it all the way through, thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon, very here at the channel. Bye for now. Bye-bye.